Today, I'm actually going to be doing a very personal conversation, and it's about how I came to know so much about pain, all my pain journey, and how I ended my own pain. And I can't wait to share all that with you. Hey, everybody, I'm Maggie, UMD, functional and holistic medicine, and the creator of the Transform Protocol to turn around any autoimmune disease around naturally. So this is why the 5 pillars of transform was actually made, saving my own life, saving my adult life from living in chronic pain and depression, to be honest, from all that pain. So number 1 was I realized food really mattered. Okay, food really matters. And I'm so tired of people begging their doctors for allergy testing, or they think they can go get a food sensitivity testing. Or I'm also tired of them going to the allergist and saying food testing is bunk, poo poo you, food doesn't matter. You have ulcerative colitis and Crohn's, go eat some bread and bananas to calm your gut down. I mean, I don't even want to go off on the whole food mapping tangent, but I can tell you right now was that I had to discover how bad food sensitivity testing was myself to realize that there is a lot of bad tests out there. But that doesn't mean food doesn't matter. Food freaking matters. So I had to really go out. I tested thousands of tests. I I mean, I probably have spent $100,000 just on different types of tests, testing on patients, myself over the course of the last 20 years to come up with, yeah, is there a good test to find out which foods actually trigger autoimmunity? Yes, there is. Okay. Yes, there is. That's what we use in our program. But that's not even the beginning or the end of this thing. I realize even using the right test is that doctors out there and even the company themselves don't even understand how people with autoimmunity have what we call false positives, false negatives, which means that I had to figure out, like, I do thousands of these tests on people, even the best tests. And I'm like, I'm seeing a pattern in autoimmune people is that they frequently have false positive on this. And that means it's not even positive, but it's a fake positive. Why is there a fake positive? And I figured out the why. When you do the right test and you figure out why that's a false positive, then you know what's a real positive. Then you have real actionable data, right? So for me, it took a while for me to do that. I mean, I've invested over $1 million over the course of the last 20 years of pain and suffering in my own education on how to get out of this. And a lot of it was spent on testing, and seeing results, right? So I figured out that gluten was terrible for me, terrible. And it took me a while, even after I went gluten free, to really figure this out. And the thing is, it's not just gluten. There were a couple other things. And so that makes it a really tricky picture because a lot of people be like, I went gluten free and nothing happened. Well, what if it was gluten, broccoli, and sesame? It's healthy, but you could still feel shitty if you're eating the broccoli and sesame. This is why food mapping was created. So without any doubt, we have a process called food mapping where we do blood work and I teach you what are false positive negatives. We teach you how to remove the foods, but there are certain foods that you need to reintroduce to test whether they really are positive or not. So it's a whole process here. And that's why it's a really important key of the program. I went gluten free. And now I'm going to tell you, when I do eat gluten again, immediately my legs go numb and weak, and I'm in severe back pain and I'm in severe jaw pain. This is how I know it's autoimmune. It's not by accident those things hurt and don't heal. Because you know what? Gluten is one of the biggest triggers of autoimmunity. And I know for me as well, even based on lab data. So the moment I eat some gluten, boom, it's like my pain comes right back. So I don't have to do that anymore. And it's no pain in the ass to go gluten free. If I know I'm trying to prevent myself from having 10 out of 10 pain, you betcha I'm going to do it. How valuable is that data? Priceless. Because I don't want to spend the remainder of my life in 10 out of 10 pain. So number 1, food matters, and food mapping is absolutely key. I have tons of alumni, if you're watching, and food really made a difference, type in chat. But if you're interested in learning more about food mapping, type information on food mapping. I'll get it to you because you know what? We literally have hundreds of testimonials of people who've gone through the food mapping process with us where we exactly identified the foods that's triggering their pain or any of their autoimmune symptoms. So number 1, food absolutely matters. Number 2 was my digestion. Digestion really matters. It's not just the food that you eat. It's what happens with the food once you consume it. This is why gut healing is another pillar here. No functional medicine physician program, no regular conventional medicine doctor ever even discusses the role of digestion. Here's what I learned: my digestion wasn't happening. I didn't feel necessarily a lot of gut symptoms, but I realized was that as I was just eating over, I had constipation that I was dealing with, but I also was gaining weight, trouble losing weight. A lot of my vitamin deficiencies, like B12 and iron, just weren't improving, no matter how many expensive supplements I took. And it finally dawned on me that there's an absorption problem here. There really is an absorption problem. And I started seeing patterns with all my patients was that they were really deficient in like calcium, magnesium, B12, ferritin, vitamin D. A lot of these deficiencies really contributed to chronic pain. Having low magnesium is going to cause your muscles not to be able to relax. Magnesium is also really important in enzyme activities to actually like help your muscles make energy and also heal once you exercise it. Muscle recovery requires magnesium, right? So I'm going to tell you that I learned that digestion was a big problem for me. And I did a ton of research, took a bunch of seminars, functional medicine seminars, really also looked at products. And I experimented with a ton of different products. And I realized that I really needed multiphasic digestive support. And then now the data is flooding. There's data flooding in the autoimmune world. In fact, did you know that 90% of people with autoimmune disease don't make enough stomach acid? The first step of digestion in your gut. So if 90% of us with autoimmune disease have low stomach acid, that's just one step of digestion. How many percentage of us have other steps that add on to this problem? 100%. All of you have digestive problems. Here's the problem. I realized that digestive enzymes really decrease inflammation so that it makes less pain. So think about it. If let's say I have a problem with gluten, I have a problem with broccoli, I have a problem with sesame, right? And I'm not digesting food well. So what happens is these allergens present themselves into your gut. You don't break it down. These whole allergens actually present in much higher amounts into your bloodstream. When these allergens have a problem with your autoimmunity present in the bloodstream, it causes the attack of the autoimmunity to be tenfold, a hundredfold to every target of an autoimmune attack, not just your gut. So it was attacking my thyroid like crazy. It was attacking my mixed connective tissue disorder like crazy. It was attacking, my hormone making organs like crazy. This is why I went into early menopause because I kept eating food, not digesting it. Those are foods that trigger autoimmune attack. I wasn't breaking down the allergens. Those allergens presented right into my blood, and I was like a petri dish of autoimmune attack, feeding it. If you're interested in working with me and learning more about Transform Autoimmune and learning more about our program, there's a link above to chat our team, and we have a chat below here that you can chat our team. Get a chat started so we can learn more because it doesn't matter what your diagnosis is. Trust me, this process is going to work for anybody.